Like, there's a crack there. Welcome to Come and Take It. I want to remind you guys before I get into it, because I am a little hot. I'm a little hot today. I know that's probably no different than any other day, but I'm pissed off. Want to remind you guys to go ahead and make sure to click the link in the description. If you are watching this on YouTube, click the link in the description to go over and subscribe to the audio side of this podcast. Leave a rating and review. Just do me a favor. Go ahead and do those things. It will help us in the algorithm. It will help more people be able to find this show, whether Texan or non-Texan. Texas issues affect us all, specifically this week.
Okay, buckle up, boys.
So last year, I attended all of these, degenerate pride events in the month of June, and I got a lot of explosive footage, and everyone said, holy cow, I can't believe this is happening in the state of Texas. And I said, I agree, so let's change it. And everyone said, we can't let this happen again. And I said, I agree, let's change it. And here we are, a year later, June 2024, and I'm spending my weekends going out to these disgusting events to get footage, and still nothing has changed. Okay, so let me just this weekend, all right, there's been a lot that I've been to just since June, and it's maybe mid-June, barely mid-June, and I already have way too many stories to share with you, okay? So let's just talk about this past weekend, all right? This past weekend, I was in Arlington for Arlington Pride. Now, this is a festival that includes entertainment on a stage, along with a bunch of vendor booths, food trucks, and drinks. And it's always billed all ages. All ages, family friendly, bring the kids. In fact, some of the time, now this particular event was free to everyone, but a lot of the time you'll find that these pride events, these family friendly events, they offer kids for free. So kids get in for free. They really want the kids there, okay? They will make them free. You may have to pay as an adult, but they will make the kids free just to ensure that the kids attend. Because they really want the kids there. But don't worry. It's all family friendly. It's fine. It's okay for all of your kids to come see. So, something told me I don't think that that's true. And I decided to mosey on over to Arlington, Texas, and see if that actually was the case. Spoiler alert, it wasn't. So I get there, and I just kind of want to just describe what I'm looking at when I arrive on the scene. So I walk up. Of course, there's already children all around me in the line to get in, as expected. And I walk in, and there are all these booths that are, I would say, extremely kid-oriented, that are mixed around with everything else. There is a booth with bubbles, okay? There is a booth with toddler-sized shirts that are all pride-themed, but they all have, of course, like Bluey or Paw Patrol or Cocomelon or, all of these characters that are geared toward toddlers, but they're all tie-dye pride. And so those are for sale. They've got this really creepy Boy Scouts booth that has all of these trans flags all over it and a creepy man waving. And they've got, they've got you guys, Big Brothers Big Sisters is now leaning hard into the trans ideology. They've got a Girl Scout booth that's selling bracelets and body glitter, among other things. And so I just want to show you guys the scene on the ground as far as how hard this festival leaned into attracting younger people. And I mean, really young kids, as young as toddler age. Watch.
Pick a side.
Anybody need sunscreen?
My sincerest gratitude to the organizers, volunteers, sponsors, and participants who make Arlington Pride possible each year. Your dedication and passion.
So I'm like, all right, they clearly want to attract children. What else is going on? So I head on over to the main stage, and where several different hours of this particular festival that went on for something like 5 hours, several different hours were dedicated to drag shows from all different drag groups in the Metroplex, because apparently we have a lot of those here. All right. And so I saw, look, when I go to these events, I kind of want to take like 20 showers when I get home. I have seen things that
horrible, terrible, awful things
I wouldn't wish on my greatest enemy. Some of those things you're going to have to see along with me because misery loves company. But in all seriousness, I have to show you guys these things because I think so often, maybe 5 years ago, 10 years ago for sure, 5 years ago, people said that's not happening. That is not happening in this country. And you know what? If it's not happening in this country, I know it's not happening in Texas because this is Texas. All right? That kind of stuff doesn't fly here in the great state of Texas. This is Texas. That doesn't happen here. And so I have to go in and I have to show you guys these things because nobody believed that it was happening. But it was, and it still is. So I go and there's this drag show. Yay, all of these drag troops. And I'm going to go through, I want to show you guys a couple of the things that I saw. And this is just a couple. I don't have time to play them all. Okay. This is just some of the worst of the worst when it comes to grown men dressed as women performing in front of young children, young impressionable children who like things like Cocomelon and Bluey and Paw Patrol, evidenced by all of those other shirts that were available for purchase for them. All right. But somehow with this ideology, we're supposed to believe that age appropriate is Cocomelon and Bluey and, Paw Patrol, but somehow also incredibly sexualized dancing, songs, innuendo. Somehow both of those things are all age appropriate for toddlers and young children.
That don't make no sense.
I'm going to play for you some of these clips. So during this drag show, I came across grown men wearing outfits that I think, you guys be the judge, you watch and you tell me. To me, it appears that they are exposing, some of them, their entire rear ends. Okay, watch.
You know, some guys just can't hold their arsenic.
He had it coming. He had it coming. He took a power. And then he used it.
Man. And then he ran into my knife. He ran into my knife 10 times.
If you'd have been there, if you'd have seen it.
Like, there's a crack there. I don't know how there is a crack there if that isn't exposed. So, children in the audience watching grown men dressed as women exposing their rear ends. And as if that wasn't bad enough, there were several different times where seems to be some tucking going on because the outfits that these grown men were wearing left very little to the imagination, and the camera that was recording this event and blasting it to the Jumbotron for everyone to see, it's not lost on me that it was strategically placed down, shot upwards like this. So you got to see cute little tidbits like this one. Yeah, just what I want my child seeing. Also, I would be remiss if I didn't also mention the all the wholesome twerking going on. So I decided, after I was done puking my guts out over on the side, that I was going to venture out and see what else was around this all ages, family friendly Pride Festival. And boy, it wasn't any better. It somehow just got worse. So I'm walking around. There's a lot of, as I mentioned earlier, unsavory characters, people with very little clothes on, which, you know, you could say like, oh, well, you would just see that at a beach. Well, I mean, you know, I'm not at a beach. But there were also things that you certainly wouldn't see at a beach, like two grown men, one dressed up as a dog wearing a pup mask with a leash and a collar on while his lover walked him. Watch.
I don't know if he's ready, girl. He's not ready yet? I don't think he's ready yet.
How did you get a mic?
Oh, they give me a mic.
Yeah. How do you answer, like, a small child walks past and says, "Mommy, why is that man dressed up as a dog and why is that other man walking him?" What is your answer for that? Like, what is a reasonable, child-friendly, age-appropriate, all ages, family-friendly answer for why two grown men are pretending like one of them is a dog and walking him? Also, what does he do when he has to go to the bathroom? I'd love to know. Does he just like pop a squat and they bring a little plastic baggie and pick up after him? Or do they decide in that moment, oh, wait, actually, it turns out I'm a dude. I guess I'll just go use the men's room. I'm not sure. I want to know either, so I'll just move on. There was also free HIV testing. Yeah. You know, it's so funny because as I'm going through this list of all of the things that were at this festival, this family-friendly, all-ages festival, it's not lost on me that every single festival I've taken my children to never have these. They never have the free HIV testing buses. I don't see those there. They never have people walking around half naked. Some of them wearing pup mat. Never happens. They never have accordion fans with things like the C word and the F word.
Is it serious? We have in November. We need to vote. Yes. Let me see the hands of everybody that vote.
And they definitely don't have a vendor booth with, I don't even know if I can say this word, with dildos and sex toys. You see that usually when you take your kids to a festival? I don't. I take my kids all the time to family-friendly festivals. In fact, it's something that my husband and I pride ourselves on. Like, we are constantly looking for festivals, for, you know, events to take our children to around the Metroplex. And I got to tell you, not one time have I taken them to a normal festival that is not LGBTQ themed. Not one time have I taken them to a normal person festival and just had, like, sex toys out. Not one time. We haven't seen fans with the C word on it or the F word. Not one freaking time. Isn't that strange? Isn't that interesting? Very strange to me that it seems that the only time that we can call these things family friendly and all ages friendly is when it belongs to one particular interest group. Otherwise, everyone seems to know what is and isn't age appropriate. And so now You literally have toys that are supposed to belong in a shop that must be 18 and up to enter. Okay, these things are sold in a store that is adults only, but you get to bring them to a festival and put them on display for young children. In what world is that okay? Apparently, Arlington, Texas. And lots of places in Texas, in the great state of Texas. In the great state of Texas, here in the great state of Texas, we still allow people to sexualize children. Congratulations, everyone. I cannot believe this is a conversation that I still have to have. I still have to go to these things. I still have to show you, here it is. Here you go. Yes, they certainly are still sexualizing children. In fact, some might say they're going harder in the paint than ever. Last year at Dallas Pride, they did have some items that were shaped like this, but I believe that they were edible waffles.
I know. These people are crazy.
This is just like, yeah, it's not food. It's just the actual toy. And we really want to teach your kids at a very young age how to use these toys, why to use these toys. We want them to ask all sorts of questions. We want them young. That's what these people are saying. In no other world, in no other festival would any of this ever be appropriate. And now we're just supposed to say, oh, no, please. Kids welcome. Look, this is so family friendly. It's not. That is child abuse. Anyone who would bring their child to an event like this to be sexualized is an abuser. And they should have their children taken from them. In the state of Texas, this should be considered child abuse. And you should have your children taken from you. Period. You don't, and by the way, you don't get to say, oh, I had no idea that would be at that event. No, if you opened your eyes, you would. I've been exposing it over and over and over again. They know what is at these events. That's the purpose. This is a cult. It is a radical ideology. It is a religion. It is a cult that they want these children indoctrinated into as early as possible. And my heart breaks for these little kids that I saw. These poor, impressionable, innocent little minds being poisoned by the people who are supposed to protect them the most. That's what's so gross about all of this is any parent, but particularly the mothers. The mothers are supposed to be the one to protect these children, to nurture and protect them from outside harm, from outside influence, from poisoning their little minds. And instead, that's who's doing it. It breaks my heart. And so this is happening right under our very noses, right in front of our very eyes. Here was another really fun one. A booth with a sign that said LGBTQ plus and Christian, yes, with a link for a church. So that's how that's going. That was not all. I didn't know this. Fun fact, or not fun fact, as it were. In the state of Texas, you can actually, as a woman, you can show your breasts, like just flash, show your breasts in front of others, including children. And apparently that's not a crime because it has to be considered lewd or something. Just the act of doing that in front of children is not a crime. Let me tell you how I know this. There was a street preacher preaching. There was a group of them actually preaching outside the venue, right outside the barricades. And there was a woman who literally walked over to them while they were preaching, while they were trying to share the gospel, while they were trying to, help these people, and just right to them. And if you listen really closely, you will hear the man on the speaker asking Arlington PD, who was right freaking there, is this okay? Is this acceptable? Well, the police said, yeah, she's not breaking the law. Totally fine. Watch.
Again, you don't understand. This is Jesus did away with the sacrificial system and the ceremonial law. That's right. Jesus Christ, and officer, she's showing her sexual body parts. Officer, is that acceptable? Is that acceptable? To show your breast in public? That's acceptable? Yeah, that just shows the perversity of our nation.
I wish that I could tell you that this was a festival that was not well attended. I wish that I could tell you there was low attendance, there were not that many people. Don't worry, this is just a weird, pop-up thing. It's not prevalent in the state of Texas. Guys, this was crowded. And there were a lot of degenerate people there. A lot of degenerate people. Very, very happy to be there. People who looked confused, people who looked like they needed stable parents. There were all sorts of people who just, there's nothing good. And I had the opportunity to speak to some of these attendees afterwards. It started getting dark and I decided, the demons are really coming out and I'd like to be on the other side of the barricade. And so I spoke to some of them. Some of them were very angry. I was next to where the street preachers were. They were preaching, which again, makes them angry for obvious reasons. And so I want to play. This kind of summed up the night for me. I want to play this clip. And then I want to go back to something that was said by one of the drag queens earlier. So I want to play for you this woman, clearly a product of the public education system, okay? And she was talking about IVF. And she, with just so much brashness, so much arrogance, told me that you actually don't need sperm in order to make a baby. Watch.
Google right now, can you do IVF without a man? Go ahead.
And so your argument is you don't need a man at all.
You do not. You do not need a man to have a baby. What year are you living in?
To have a baby.
What year are you living in?
At any stage. There's no sperm that's involved.
No. You can have a baby without a man. You can You can educate yourself right now and look that up.
Sperm.
But you're refusing.
And no sperm.
You can literally look that up right now. You're more worried about laughing in your camera and recording me than doing a quick Google search to educate yourself.
So why don't you inform me?
I just did.
No. Don't say Google it.
You can take 2 eggs in IVF and make a baby. You can gladly Google that, but you don't want to. None of you have done it.
Guys, they're not sending their best. Actually, maybe that is their best. I don't know. But if that's their best, we are in serious trouble. Public education system right there. Okay. Obviously you need sperm in the process. Whatever route you choose, we could have the in vitro conversation, but let's just focus on the fact that you got to get the process correct first. Okay. But I mean, in all seriousness, this is someone who genuinely believes that, which we could all say, okay, that's fine because she's not going to reproduce. So do we hate that? And my answer would be no, we don't hate that. But the point is, that's what they want. They are seeking a system where all of this degeneracy, all of this abnormal behavior is rewarded by also being able to reproduce other ways. It's scary, man. It's scary. And I want to leave you with this before I blow a gasket. I could go on all day about how disgusting my time has been. And again, I feel like I need just showers all the time, even dealing with this. this month. But I want to play for you one of the drag queens. I think that this is very important for Texans to hear. Remember, I said this was a packed house, a packed event. So many people there. All, I think we know where they stand politically, okay? And the drag queen started talking about how they are going to turn Texas blue. Watch.
We're turning this state blue. I don't worry about it. We're kind of in the purple zone. Colin Allred is giving that Ted Cruz a run for his money.
Ryan Ted.
I'm gonna need every single one of y'all to vote. On the count of three, everybody say vote. 1, 2, 3, vote! Okay, enough with the political stuff. I come from Illinois. Over there. Are you drunk yet, sis? She's getting there. I come from a blue state, so I had the luxury of growing up in a state where everybody was treated equal. We all were treated like the same people. And I moved to Texas about 20 years ago to fly the friendly skies of a major airline here in Dallas. Figured out there's just two, so. And, you know, I get to travel the world, but I think we sometimes take for granted the freedom that we have as LGBTQAIPK people. And it is so important for us to make sure that we love each other, one, we support each other, two, and we treat each other with love and kindness. I learned this phrase while I moved to Texas. Y'all means all.
Yes, it does. We're still waiting on DJ.
This is what we're dealing with. Okay? They hold these rallies, they hold these events, they hold these festivals. They get all their people in there and they tell these people, we have to vote. We are going to turn Texas blue. It's already purple, he said. It's already purple. Colin Allred is going to give Ted Cruz a run for his money. We're going to turn Texas blue. I promise you, they are very serious about that attempt. Now, whether or not they are successful is up to you. Because they are active. They are creating little activists. Every single event that they have, they are churning out more and more activists. You know what was also there that I didn't get on tape? A booth registering people to vote. They are set on turning this state blue. George Soros is helping by investing millions and millions of dollars into his organizations to turn Texas blue. Are you going to let that happen? The answer is yours. It's up to you. But I can tell you this, I'm getting pretty damn tired of being the only person willing to go in here and spend my weekends going and exposing this total degeneracy and depravity and child abuse. So, I mean, I can fight all day long and it's not going to matter. It's really up to you. It's up to us. Are we going to make sure to put a stop to this disgusting garbage? Or are we going to continue to be complacent and let them overtake us? Because they are out to change and transform this state. They're saying it. They're saying the quiet parts out loud because they can. So, look, stay active, get active if you're not. And I'll keep fighting the good fight. You keep fighting the good fight with me. And I hope to see you next time on Commentator.